To answer your question, I think President Obama has been doing very well. When he came into office on January 20th, he inherited a lot of things on his desk, a lot of both domestic challenges, of course, of the economy, but also foreign policy issues that he had to deal with as well. And I think on a scale of 1 to 10, he is definitely at a 9.5. I think he's put a new spirit in the country. The stimulus bill that he was able to get through in the Congress and Senate and signed, I think it was late February, is starting to come down to the local communities. There are projects that are being done now, right up at the transportation. The secretary was up in Maine, I think, over the last couple of days, and there was some projects that he was overseeing that shovel ready and being done.
So the bottom line is the president, he has met your expectations.
Oh yes, he has absolutely met my expectations, and I think he's met the American people's expectation. As you know, Dominic, his ratings in terms of popularity and competency on the job, in the job, has been outstanding and very high. President Obama probably has not faced, he is facing problems that no recent president has faced in our recent history. Only if you go back to Franklin Delano Roosevelt in the Depression years that he had to deal with. So I think President Obama is doing just an excellent job, and I think come the third or fourth quarter of this year, we're going to see the unemployment rate level off, and we're going to see some more want ads in the newspapers again, and I think things will gradually start to improve. Yes, there will be bumps in the road. You know, there's some news that still has to come out of Detroit regarding GM. Chrysler is in the last stages of their deal, or maybe have consummated with Fiat to save them from Chapter 11 bankruptcy, which is good for the suppliers. That deal with a minority and small business suppliers.
Well, let me do this, Mr. Robinson. Yes. Before we talk about small business, I'd like to ask you this. One, you and Governor Paterson, and you talk about this a lot publicly.
Yes.
You share something in common in terms of he's legally blind, yes, and you have your visual impairment.
Yes.
You manage it very well. I've watched you publicly. How are you able to do that?
Well, I think I'm able to do it, but of course, with the support of my wife, and the people who work with me in my office, the team. I also tried to do it and to try to accommodate to as much as I can to learn that walls are not your enemy, but you can use them to get around.
So, are you legally blind?
Yeah, I'm beyond legally blind. Governor Paterson's vision is perhaps a little bit more clearer than mine, but mine is a little more acute than his. But I'm able to do it. I enjoy doing it, and if I can provide some inspiration to other people who are facing disability, whether it's visual or anything else, I hope they will get a little inspiration from myself. But the fact that you have me on this show, and
you're a business leader, we should have you on the show. But let me ask you this question, and then we'll move on to the Business Council. You can give us a perspective that very few people can, because you are blind yourself.
Yes.
How difficult does that make Governor Paterson's job?
Well, I think if you have to do a little memorizing, a lot of memorizing of things. You have to listen very closely. Wherever you cannot read, you have to keep yourself current on events. You have to have people who can be able to decipher insightful things for you. For instance, when I come in the morning, the first thing I do is have our person check the emails, and my dictation skills have probably got better over the years, so I'm able to do that, and I just try to stay current, and I won't let this disability stop me for doing what I need to do. No, I won't be running a marathon when it comes around again, but I am also.
But you're determined it won't stop.
But I am working on a book, and hopefully that will be out before this year is out. So you know, I feel good.
You are an amazing human being. Now, tell us before we talk specifics, what exactly is the National Minority Business Council? We know it started in 1972. Yes. You've been around for a number of years.
Yes, I'm one of the founders of the National Minority Business Council. We've been around since 1972. We are a business development organization, advocacy, procurement, international trade. We have a very active women's business committee that does an annual business leadership conference in cooperation with the Bank of New York Mellon and other corporate sponsors. We also involved and very concerned about global business trade, as this economy is very much a global economy now, not just a domestic economy. We do want to see a very strong free trade agreements wherever possible that are both favorable to the United States and to the workers here. We do want to see our suppliers get a fair shake. You know, products coming into the United States, we want to be able to export our products out to the emerging markets as well. So we want to be part, we consider ourselves part of the global economy. Our website, NMBC.org, is a combination of a domestic and global website. So when you go there, you will see opportunities in Africa, as well as the latest information on free trade agreements that have been signed or about to be signed.
Well, the reason why we wanted you on tonight, watching you in action, I've seen you in action, major business players in the business world attend your events. Yes. So you're a major player in the business community. I've got to take a break, but I want you to briefly explain, and we'll pick this back up on the backside. Yes, sir. What has this bad economy, what has it meant for members of the council?
Well, this bad economy has meant that a lot of businesses have gone out of business.
Out of business?
Out of business. We have lost a lot of businesses, not just NMBC members, but all across this country. It has slowed down the small business market. Procurement opportunities in the private sector have slowed down, and in certain sectors have dried up. Companies have been forced to lay off workers, pull back on development plans, and really are holding on for dear life. And the fact that the banking market has been talked about so much that the flow of credit has pretty much dried up, particularly for the small business community.
So I've got to take this break, but if credit has dried up and business is bad, how do you function in this economy?
Well, entrepreneurs are very creative individuals, and they are able to see that on the other side of a down economy will be an up economy. And a lot of them have moved their operations back to home-based businesses. Some have combined with other companies to form one company. Others have looked at the global marketplace and maybe looked to do business in some of the emerging markets in Latin America and Africa to export some of their products. And some of them a lot of them have just gone back to basics. Instead of offering a lot of variety of services and products, have focused on one or two and just really are holding on pretty much for dear life. But they are determined to hold on because they know sooner or later it's going to flip and that they will be ready and they will reemerge. Entrepreneurs are not going any place. They just have to adjust. They're adjusting their business models as they go forward.
Okay, what we're going to do at this point, Mr. Robinson, and when we come back, we'll talk about starting a business. Yes. What are the steps that one should do? We're going to take a break. We'll have much more with John Robinson in just a moment, and later the results of tonight's SNAP poll. Stay with us.